Hey guys, so today we'll be sketching out a logo. This tutorial is going to use Photoshop later on, but this part here is just the sketch to kind of get us started. So to begin with, I start out by mapping out kind of a canvas using 16 by 16 spaces. You can see me kind of counting out there. So you'll just count out the spaces and draw your lines across and down. And that 16 spaces is just enough to give me enough detail to kind of work with. So here you'll see me count out 8 spaces and draw a line down the middle, and 8 spaces across here as well. This is just to kind of find the center of the piece. Now I'll actually go ahead and get started sketching my logo out based on a previous sketch I had done, when you're designing something, it's really important to use reference photos if you have an idea in your head, just to get kind of a more accurate representation. Normally I would recommend using 2 or 3, but it just depends on how complex of a drawing you're kind of going for. I will say that usually I would use a compass and a ruler to kind of help me out with this kind of thing, but on this one, since it's just a sketch, we'll be moving over to Photoshop. It's not a big enough deal for me to really worry about. Now here you'll actually see me struggle for a second because I've made everything just a little bit too tall. So I go through and kind of scoot everything down just a little bit in order to get kind of a more centered logo. Alright, so from here I wanted to add a circle around the drawing itself, so I add 1 dot 1 space from the bottom, and another 3 spaces from the top, and I count the number of spaces between them and add 1 dot in the exact middle. Then I'll count half the number of spaces to the left and right, and then start kind of sketching in a circle. I use this old glass that I found. I just line it up with the dots and kind of sketch the circle around it, but if you have a compass, it honestly makes the whole thing so much easier. I definitely recommend grabbing one if you don't already have it. But other than that, any circular object really works. You just have to kind of move it around a little bit in order to get everything lined up properly. So from there, I'll go through and darken the kind of circle that I just sketched out to get a more kind of final look. And I'll go through and erase some of the background lines that we don't actually need, just to kind of clean things up a little bit and get ready to import into Photoshop. So from there I start drawing the kind of wreath that I had mentioned earlier. The good thing about these, or anything organic really, is that it doesn't have to be exact. You can kind of just wing it without having to really worry about it looking too off. Just because organic things don't usually follow a set pattern or anything like that. You can kind of just do what you want with it. Alright, so from there we'll just copy it and paste it over to the other side. And then I grabbed a fine liner that I had laying around. It's a 0.5mm, and just kind of traced over all of the lines to give it a darker look so I could work with it a little bit easier in Photoshop. So from there, what you'll want to do is you'll either scan it or take a picture that has all 4 of the corners in it, just like this one here, and just save that for now. We'll import it into Photoshop and get actually started working on the logo in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.